Today we will look at the Albuquerque Public School Teacher Evaluation System and propose a new system that is not only more fair of an evaluation for current educators, but will not dip too deep into the current APS budget. We will highlight the current evaluation system set in place, our project plan to modify the current system, the costs and benefits of this change, how it will affect APS budget, and conclude our final thoughts on why the new evaluation system should be the way to go. The current evaluation system is comprised of three components, the first being 25% weighted on teacher observations from 2 classroom observations per year. The second 25% for multiple measures including teacher attendance, surveys, teacher professionalism, etc. And the third, a whopping 50% on improved student achievement. Improved student achievement needs to be the biggest area that is modified because the scale to which students are being measured for achievement does not take into account the socioeconomic status of the student, the different levels of academic standing in special education, and other delays a student might present. This is a huge complaint from a majority of APS teachers, and we will look at modifying this section the most when it comes to our projected new evaluation system. The goal of establishing a new teacher evaluation system is to put more weight on teachers' performance with student performance as a factor, but not 50% of the evaluation as it is currently. Below are the new percentages for the three-area approach. Improved student achievement would stand at 20% instead of the 50%. When interviewing 11 current APS educators with experience ranging from 3 years to 24 years, all 11 agreed that student achievement should still be factored into the evaluation scores. However, it should only take up a small amount of the evaluation for the reasons we discussed on the previous slide. Teacher observations need to double to 4 observations per year instead of the 2. This would bump up the value to 40%. This will allow also more accurate observations for the teachers because it broadens the times the teachers will get observed. One complaint one educator brought to my attention with observations was she was observed in the fall on an assembly day, and it also was a day before a vacation. Her complaint was that not all days are like this particular day, but she was scored poorly for classroom attention because her students were distracted on this day. The evaluation read she was unable to keep the attention of her students, but it didn't read they were going to an assembly that day and were going on vacation that day after. The next section, multiple measures, would also increase to 40%. Multiple measures should continue to take into account educator professionalism. However, the new evaluation system should include an appeal process. One coach, also a special education teacher in APS, I interviewed, explained that he got scored minimally effective for missing PLC meetings. He explained the reason he missed these meetings was because APS scheduled basketball games right after school on the same day his PLC was. Although he met with his head teacher privately and got information from the meeting from this teacher and other teachers, his efforts were not taken into account and he was rated minimally effective. The appeal process that we will add in to multiple measures will allow situations like this to be appealed so that educators feel they have the same right to a proper evaluation score. We also will add in an optional section to be evaluated for being involved in the school's extracurricular groups. This will only be added in to those who are coaches or who are involved with other extracurricular activities with the school. It is simple to see the benefits of the new evaluation system clearly outweigh the costs. With the new evaluation focused less on student test scores and more on the observations and multiple measures sections, there will be an overall more accurate depiction of individual teacher abilities. With the added appeal process, the focus from a general evaluation system transitions even more towards an individual evaluation system that looks at each teacher's circumstances. Due to the current budget, which we will discuss next, the main cost for the new evaluation system is time. Administrators will be required to spend more time doing evaluations of teachers, and they will have to go through a new training in regards to the new evaluation system. However, if you look at the big picture, this new training will just replace the time that they go for their current trainings in the current evaluation system. The budget for the fiscal year 2016 totaled to $1.33 billion for Albuquerque Public Schools. According to the APS annual budget report for the 15-16 year, in the fiscal year 2015, additional assistant principals were provided to elementary and middle schools in support of the new teacher evaluation process. This means the funding for more support in the current evaluation system set us up for an even smaller increase in funds that will need to be allocated to hiring more administrators for evaluation support. Also, according to the APS annual budget report, we learned public education funding increased by 1.3%, or approximately $36.6 million. You can see in the pie chart on the bottom right of this slide, this $1.33 billion is distributed into different sections. The biggest section, taking up more than 51% of the budget, is the operating funds expenses. Here we look at the operating funds expenses in more depth. 61% goes to salaries and only 0.8% goes to professional and technical services, which can include trainings. This means that about 26% of the overall funding goes towards salaries, which includes administration salaries, and services that includes evaluation training. Due to the 26% of the overall budget including administrative salaries and trainings, our new evaluation system only requires a small increase in funding. I propose a $3.5 million increase, or what would be less than a 1% increase. This would move the fiscal year 16-17 budget to $1.333 billion. The increase in costs will be for hiring more administrators to help ease the burdens of other administrators in the new observation demands. It will also cover any additional trainings needed. However, since administrators are already going through trainings throughout the year, we can supplement some of these with the new evaluation system information. To the APS Finance Department, the Office of Budget and Strategic Planning, and the New Mexico Board of Education. The new evaluation system consists of 40% teacher observations, 40% multiple measures, and 20% improved student achievement. This evaluation promotes a more fair evaluation of individual teachers, especially with adding in an appeal process for certain teachers. This evaluation transition would only need an increase in less than 1% of the total current budget. As always, when making a change in the education system, it is important to take into account the educator's opinions and needs. This new proposed 40-40-20 evaluation system came directly from the concerns and complaints of current APS educators.